Good afternoon, all my beautiful beings out there. How are you guys? I love you guys. I hope you guys are absolutely doing fantastic. Another week that is hard to imagine. I'm in a different location because there's a little couch over here that you can see that it's truly not the best, but uh, my back is hurting pretty bad. So here I am. Hope everybody had a good week. I hope everybody is enjoying the spring weather. It is getting warmer here in California. It's in the high 70s to 80s already, something that I am truly, as a Midwesterner, not used to California at all. So here in March, if I was in Wisconsin, it would be rainy or snowing and cold in the 30s or 40s right now. So here in March in California, I have to say I'm pretty impressed. It's high 70s, 80s. So um, yeah, I'm in a new spot. Maybe possibly going through some second set of ascension symptoms. My back is in excruciating pain, as well as my hip areas right here. It is very hard for me to sit at. Last night I could not sleep at all. The pain was excruciating. I don't know what's going on, but I didn't get any sleep, so I wasn't going to come on tonight, guys. But I was like, no, we've got to figure something out. So, anyways, today's topic: God. Who is God? What is God? What are we? Um, I get that question quite a lot. And as I've told all of my followers that follow this channel, follow my YouTube channel, um, I've told you who God is. But let's get into a more personalized view. I mean, I could go on who God is, right? What God is. Why are we here? What are we experiencing? Why, right? I mean, and that's the whole point of who God is. Um, so let's get into that. I mean, hi, Gina. How are you? It's good to see you, hon. I'm glad you're here. Welcome. I got a question for you. You want to come into the studio real quick and ask a question before I get onto this topic? Come on in and ask me a question. You've been one of my followers since the beginning, so I'm honored. Why don't you come on in? I'm going to put the banner down there for you. This way, it gives you an opportunity to come in and chat, ask a question, or ask the question about today's topic. You know, who is God? So come on in. There it is. Put that into your web browser and come on in. Anytime I put that up there for anybody, guys, that's for anybody to come in, okay? And when I do my collaboration tomorrow, right? If anybody wants to come in and be in that collaboration with us, please come on in. It's for anybody. That's what I started this channel for. It's for you guys, right? When I talk to you guys about the stuff that I talk about, it isn't for me, right? It's for you guys. You guys are the ones that are beginning to awaken. You guys are the ones that are asking the deeper questions, right? My channel could be exploding. I could be at 80,000 subscribers right now. But I talk about the nitty gritty. I don't just talk about a wonderful, beautiful near-death experience, right? That's all well and good, but there's topics that need to be talked about, right? Some of the things that you guys were brought up with, right? Let's even talk about your values and morals, right? They're all wrong, okay? Because they're truly, if you think about them, not yours. Same thing with your perception, of God. Who is God? What is God, right? Why do we have these beautiful near-death experiences? Or in some cases, some people see a dark near-death experience. Is that God being cruel? Well, unfortunately, no. God is not cruel. That just goes to show that if you believe in a hell, right, then you have no idea who God is. So hopefully you had enough time to get that into your thing, and it will let me know when you're in here. So I'm going to make this really brief about God, okay? Before Gina comes in here. Who is God? What is God, right? What are we? Says it's not found? Really? All right, let me try it again. Hold on. And we'll go down here, copy link, banners. All right, try that one. So imagine this, as I think you all have a tiny bit of an idea who God is. But God is, all right? Listen to those words. God is. There is nothing else, okay? There is nothing else. Now, some people have asked me, is there something above God? In terms, technically, yes, but it's completely irrelevant. So we're going to get back to who God is. God is. There is nothing else, okay? So just imagine God being the magnificent, beautiful being that God is, sitting there one day in all of his magnificence, his grandeur, and all of that, right? Was one, feeling lonely, and two, wanted to know all that is not, right? So, what does that mean? Well, God says, I know everything there is, but is not, right? So, in theory, in conceptual form, God knows everything. So, it's like when you're reading a book, right? You don't know what the book is about until you read it. You experience reading the book, okay? So, in conceptual form, God knows in all his grandeur and magnitude and magnificence, right? He knows all there is, but he also knows all that is not. So, what am I getting at? In order for God to know who he truly is outside of himself, right? God has to experience all that is not. Okay? Well, how can God experience all that is not in an experiential form? Okay? What did he do? Here we sit. He created us in his likeness and his image. So if you listen to me when I told you guys about my near-death experience, I said I became one with the light. I became one with the love. I became one with Father. Father is love. Father is light. Father is all there is and is not in the moment of now. Okay? God, I promise you this. Okay? God will never take a form. All right? And in the Bible, you know, if you want to believe in that pile of crap, when Moses said God spoke to him, right? What did God come in the form of? A burning bush, right? Well, what does it sound like Moses had on Mount, right? What does it sound like he had? He had a near-death experience. My guess, somewhere up there, he fell, hit his head, fell down, whatever. Moses had a near-death experience. Gina is, and there she is. Hi, honey. How are you?
Hi, Jason. I've been following you for a while and watching your videos.
I I'm truly honored and beyond grateful. Thank you.
Yes, thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. I know you comment quite regularly, and I'm like, you know, why doesn't she just come in and ask me in person some questions?
Yeah, no, I love the conversation that we're having right now about God, all that is. And I have been, in studying this topic for about since like I was 17, and it's been a very long ride for sure.
Did you have an experience? Did something happen to you?
Yes. When I was around 17, I had a dream of my mother who had passed away. She came to me in a dream, and it was crystal clear, clearer than clear. and she was in light form, and she was just telling me she was okay. And ever since then, I've been on like deep dives of just like watching YouTube and expanding my gifts and just like trying to figure out, what is this place that we're in.
The relative is what we're in, right? So, how did you find me? What video was it that you found before I get back into discussing God? Because you can sit in here with, unless somebody else wants to come in, but we can have this discussion.
Next Level Soul podcast.
Oh, Next Level Soul. Okay, so that one was just recent. So you've delved into the other things that I was talking about on my channel, right? All the other videos?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So when Gina says here where we are now, right? So what did God do? All that is, right? So God knew everything from a conceptual form. Giving birth hurts, making love feels good, this, that, or the other, right? But for all that is in his grandest magnitude, could not fully understand all that is not. All that he is also all that he is not, right? Good and evil. I'm sorry, everybody, but evil is just as good as joy and happiness, right? For all that is, how does God know what evil is? God can't know what evil is from a conceptual form, right? So all that is then created us, but he also created the relative, what we are, what you experiencing as life. You think it's real, you believe it's real. Your thoughts are immensely powerful, guys. Okay, so all that is now created all that is not to experience all that is, right? You cannot know anything, guys. You cannot know anything without experiencing it. It would be like me telling a woman that has children, childbirth doesn't hurt. How could I possibly understand what that even remotely feels like unless I'm there giving birth to an 8-pound kid coming out my crotch? It's impossible, guys, right? So in order for God to know this, he's got to experience where we come in. Now, he gave us a safe place to experience this. We call it, or Father calls it, the relative, right? What you call the physical universe, the sun, the stars, and all that. They're not there. They're not real. But for what we are experiencing, because all of you, even someone said, this feels so real. It's meant to feel real, right? It's meant for us to experience all that is not. Why? You are all one with the Father. You are God, ladies and gentlemen. There's nothing else you can possibly be, okay? And that's the illusion. That's the dream, right? Enlightenment is simply knowing this, right? And I thought enlightenment was, well, you reach some grander stage. It's not. Enlightenment is knowing who you really are. I experienced who I really was in the moment of my death. When I'm watching this thing laying on a bed, how could I be talking and having a conversation with God when this thing's laying on the bed and my brain is down there? It's impossible for it to happen, right? But yet in that moment, I knew exactly where I was. I'm home. Where's home? Heaven. Heaven is here. You are heaven. You are all of it, right? But you've been believed, or you've been told since birth that, a brand new baby, an infant, is sinful, is gross. It's a blasphemy to God. How is that possible? You've been taught that, and it's been done to you on purpose to keep you small, when in fact, you are the entire universe and more, right? You grab the ocean, stick your hand in the ocean, you got that one drop, right? That's not a drop of the ocean, that's the entire ocean. You are the entire ocean. That's where the wave gets, I want to be, the ocean. Well, it is the ocean, right? It doesn't realize that when it crashes, it's going to come back to where it was. Same thing with us. When we are done with this body, guys, when we're done with it, and the soul knows instantly it has no use for it anymore, it's accomplished what it needed to, it dies, it leaves, it goes. It has no use for this. But you have all identified mistakenly with the body. Gina thinks, for 17 years that she was a female, right? I thought for 49 years, up until that very moment of my own death, I was a man. right? A sinful man. I was going to hell for my experiences, right? That was simply, I need you to understand this, that God is experiencing life through you, each and every one of you. What you feel and experience, your Father feels and experience. If you're making love, he's making love. If you're cooking and laughing, he's cooking and laughing. He's feeling it, right? He's experiencing life through you. So when I tell you guys that your thoughts are powerful, they create what you see in this relative place that is safe for us to come and explore. Okay? They create, as I said, your reality, right? So many of you are looking at me, well, Jason, you're destitute and poor. Right now, I have about 58 cents in my account, right? My time runs out here. And if I were to go and start looking for a job, it would be telling my Father that all I've brought forth together, this website, my website, this YouTube channel, what I'm teaching all of these guys means nothing, right? I'm giving up on that dream, that beautiful desire and the passion that I have for each and every one of you. I cannot do that. I cannot sit there and lie, not only to myself and to my Father, to say, I brought this to fruition, right? Creation begins with three things. First thing is thought. Okay. So when you're here and you're in creation mode, from the time these things awake, open up, you're in full God mode, you're in full creation mode, right? Therefore, mind your thoughts. So have a thought that is implicit. It is creation. It is God, right? Two, okay. You have to speak it aloud, right? So I am is the I am statement. That is a direct correlation to your Father. It is what builds the universe. The universe will stop. It has to. You're a God. You are Father. It will listen to what you say and it will come to you. Third thing to create your reality, right? To create the experience that you're giving God is you have to take action. Okay. You've heard actions speak louder than words. You know what women want, right? They want to, okay, you can talk so much, but then a woman is going to want you to back that crap up, right? Yeah, right. If you want a healthy relationship with her, right? If you want love, romance, intimacy, babies, a home, whatever, you got to back your actions up, right? Or your thoughts, right? When you start blah, 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 diarrhea of the mouth. Same thing here. You have to bring it into creation. You have to act on it, right? That's what brings it in, right? So now my frustration is, why hasn't it happened yet? Well, that's divine timing, ladies and gentlemen, right? I created this. And that's where I told you when I had that timeline jump last week, right? That I finally got it. And then, I'm sitting here and I felt like I was moving through time and space. I thought I was going to hit the car, right? Well, that was me, quantum physics, jumping into that timeline that this now exists for it to happen. Now, is it going to happen on a dime? No. The species wants instant gratification, right? I can go on to, Amazon and get what I want and have it tomorrow. That's not the way this works, right? The whole point of even us coming into the relative is to know who we are. How do we experience that? Through love. Love is all there is, guys. Love is the highest form of our expression. We desire it. We seek it through through a partner. Say if Gina and I were together, we would want to, what are we trying to get together for? Love, to experience, right? But we as a species then turn that around and say, okay, well then what are you going to do for me? Now love has a consequence to it, right? Love knows no bounds, right? That's taking it into the wrong direction, right? So when you get into a relationship, I shouldn't say to her, well, I want this, 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 and this. That's not a relationship and that's not love. That's a contract. I don't get into a relationship or with any of this with you guys because I'm expecting something from you guys. I don't expect you to show up. I didn't expect my channel to grow. I do this. I put this information out there because I love all of you unconditionally. For all of you are me and I am you, right? Your perception of me is what you see, what you're seeing right now, right? It's your projection through your mind coming out through your eyes. And here I am. Am I real? No, but in the relative, I am, right? I can hold hands, I can kiss, I can hug, go to work, right? Do whatever it is. It's a safe place, guys. The system that God set up, the relative, so he could experience all that is and all that is not, right, is a safe place. It's a no-win situation. All we can do is win, right? We're going to have many lives to figure this out eventually, right? And then you're going to come to the enlightenment. And enlightenment, it simply is knowing who I am, right? Knowing that I am not Jason Janis, right? And that I am simply experiencing something for my Father. That's enlightenment, guys. That means I've reached the end of the stage, the end of the show, right? I don't have to prove anything anymore. I've now experienced all that I am and am not, right? So good, bad, right, wrong, up, down, left, right, hot, cold, right? How does God know what hot is? Unless he sticks his hand on a burner. So until one of you stick your hand on a burner, you're going to know, you're not going to do that again. So that's why we cannot, with our children, love them unconditionally, but they have to experience all they are. They came here again to experience this, right? To figure out who they are. That's the name of the game, right? I call it the cosmic wheel of life, or for you guys, the hamster on the wheel. Where is that hamster going? It's running like hell, but it's going nowhere. There's nowhere for us to go. That's enlightenment. I know this. You guys haven't had a near-death experience. You can have a profound SDE, as Gina has done here, but until you experience who you are outside of this, you don't know who you are. But you all come here because something deep within you resonates deeply, profoundly, right? That's your soul saying, time out, listen, right? Listen, this is it, right? Now, you can go to other people that talk about these things, but, you'll go in there, but for you guys to keep coming here, what's up, God? I'm up. I'm always up, man. I'm always experiencing all that is and all that is not, right? So people look at my life. Well, Jason, you're going to be homeless. You're going to be living in your car again in 2 or 3 days. If so, then I will enjoy living there. That's something that my soul needs. But do I believe in that? No. I believe that something is going to happen within this time frame that's going to allow me and allow my business to prosper, to come into fruition, right? So that's God in a nutshell, guys. I mean, that's in its simplistic form, okay? God is experiencing everything you are on a minute to minute, second to second basis. Everything that you feel and do, he feels and does. So if you think about that, next time you're driving down the road and somebody flips you off, you know what, man? That's okay. I love you. What does he say? Jesus, Jesus taught through 2 ways, right? Through love, unconditional love, and unconditional forgiveness. He knew he was talking to nobody but himself, right? He was a master of love. He was a master of the body. It's what I am becoming, right? We're all masters, but you've got to step into that through the experience of knowing who you are. Without knowing who you are, it is impossible to do, right? So that's how I get through life. That's how when I look outside, I look at a meaningless world. It's a meaningless world. It's an illusion, a dream. It doesn't exist. It only exists in my mind. One mind, guys. There's only one mind. All that is. There is nothing else, right? So all of us sitting here are of one mind. You need to understand this, okay? It's a difficult concept to understand, but we are all of one mind. That of God. And Jesus spoke it 2,000 years ago. And you took his words literally that he and the Father are one. You had to understand that when he spoke 2 different ways. To the chosen ones, right? He knew who the chosen ones were. Okay. Those were when I told you I'm a chosen one, I thought I was handpicked by God. It's simply a higher frequency. Okay, that's all it is. When I tell you I'm not different than you, but I'm just way up here in vibration, that's all it is, right? Jesus was getting his 4th PhD while we were in diapers. That's his level of, okay, knowledge. No different than us. We haven't had the experiences yet that he was. And on top of that, he was a highly advanced being from another race, from another dimension. He had it, right? So when you look at yourself, know that who you are is simply one with the Father. You are all that is. There can be and there is nothing else. Okay? That you are experiencing for God, okay? All that is not, right? In all his magnificence and grandeur, he went from conception to experience, right? And we are the experience. We are giving him that. There's no way for us to fail. There's no way, there's no hell, there's no sin. I mean, if you want to think of sin as a lack of love, but it's really, sin is simply you not experiencing your fullest self in the moment of now, right? You'll settle for the job. You'll sit there for 30 years and just be miserable, right? You'll sit there in a marriage that you just truly have outgrown, right? And you all think it's bad because of the values and morals that were given to you by who? They're not even your values and morals, right? They're mom and dad's. Okay. So you're sitting there believing a world on your mom and dad say so. They're not yours. Why don't you step back out of yourself and sit? What are my values and morals? Right? Because when I did that after my death, I realized I was living somebody else's life, not my own. Right? That didn't start until after my death, when, it may not seem like it's going together, but you know what? Everything's gelling and concealing the way it should be, right? And I look back, I said, I was taught wrong. I said, I was pissed off, right? Those values and morals that were instilled in me by my grandparents and my mom, that was not me. I knew it was wrong. Now I have my own values and morals, and it's pretty simple. I love you all right? I forgive you all. That is who I am. I'm the epitome of my Father. And I will not sway or waver from that for anything. So for me to go jump into a 9-to-5 job now is telling the old man, F you, right? That I'm not going to follow through with this. Is what I'm going through difficult? Extremely difficult. Is it stressful? Beyond stressful. But I did this. This is what I asked my Father to experience. Now to turn around and go get a job and to do this and no, it would never work. I can't do it. It's this, when that angel told me, Jason, you are in alignment and you are powerful. That means I'm in alignment with what I came here to do, which is teaching, right? If I had not started my YouTube channel in, what was it? Almost 2020, right after a few months, maybe 21, and my website, right? Would I be in alignment now with what I came here to do? No, right? Now, I would have to take another lifetime and another lifetime to figure this out, to go through those experiences. So if you think, or anybody thinks, that I'm going to stop now because I have the possibility of living in my car again with, like I said, I've got about 58 cents in my account right now, I'm not going to stop. My love for my Father is all there is. Now, you are Father too. You are all one with the Father. My love for you is why I'm here. It's why I will be here tomorrow night with the collaboration, right? Emotion is love in progress, right? When you're emotional, what is happening? Your Father's talking to you because he speaks to you through your emotion. Your emotion is energy progressing or moving forward, right? That is love, guys. Vanessa talks about that. It's who we are. It's what we're made up of on a fundamental level. We do not exist in a physical form. We never have and we never will. We simply exist as a vibrational frequency and energy. That is your Father. So when I merged with that light, became one with that light, I've told you guys this on the video that I did with Dave Sledge, World War III. I am God. I know who I am. There's no going back, guys. I can no longer go back into a life that is now dead. It's impossible, right? It's impossible. You can never go back. So I have been single now for over 11 years, and I've been celibate in those 11 years. All right. I was figuring out who I was prior to my death in the 5 years and then after my death, right? I knew, and especially when you have a transformative experience such as dying or an STE, you cannot, and this is going to sound bad to the general public, but deal with it. I cannot have a relationship without anybody being on my level consciousness wise. Okay. Meaning their vibration, having that experience, right? I cannot listen to your mundane crap. I cannot care. Well, what about, well, soccer tomorrow? There'll be sunny days. I need somebody that I can talk to like this, somebody like Gina that can have a conversation and we can experience our love even being, next to each other without any physical contact, to have that knowledge that most of humanity does not. Okay, so I cannot jump into a what you would call a regular relationship. There are no more butterflies, there are no more it doesn't work. That's all gone. I see the facade, I see through it, right? That happens when you become enlightened. That happens when you awaken to the relative that we're in. I need somebody that I can jive with, that I can roll over with and look into their eyes and see what I'm feeling from them, right? Most of you will, oh, she's cute, she's got a nice butt, her boobies are nice, blah, 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 blah. The body is insignificant and meaningless, right? I need a love on a soul level, a deep soul level, a commitment from that other person's soul, not their body, not what's out of their diarrhea-laden mouth, but I will feel that. Okay, that's when I say I can walk into a room as the empath. I can know who's having a bad day, who's really good, who hates my guts instantly, right? So, like when Gina's sitting here, I can feel her. Okay, I can feel her love. It's a deep love. Okay, and it's a passionate love because women are more passionate than men. Okay, they have that motherly bondingly instinct that I'm also picking up on, even though she's young. I still feel that from her, right? But I also know that I could sit down and have a meal with her and we could experience something on a profound level that none of you would even come close to understanding. Okay, that is the kind of connection that I need, right? So when I sit in this hotel room, I don't even go out it unless I have to go get something to eat, right? I know what it is. I don't care. It's meaningless to me, right? Now I still have to live. I still have to have a home, car, job. Is a partner coming for me? Of course, but that partner now has to be on that level, right? I cannot go below. As Vanessa said, so above, so below. I cannot go low, right? That just doesn't work for me. I need that. I just need that depth that someone that has had a profound experience has had because they know, right? They've experienced it. Okay. You have to understand this. To know something, you have to experience it. And most of you have experienced things through life. That's the only way you know, right? Getting hit in the foot with a hammer, or getting in a car accident, or getting in a fight, or making love, having kids, raising baby, right? You know, because you've experienced these things. But on this level, most of humanity, less than 1% of humanity, let's just say 1% of humanity has not, right? Thanks for answering. Oh, I didn't even see anybody in there. So, hey, Jason, how do you know if angels are around? Because I feel a warm peace where I live and I want to cry because it's overwhelming. Samuel. Well, that's your father speaking to you. Your angels and your guides are always around you. They cannot be, right? So they are with you constantly, in your room, next to you, by you, watching you take a shower, watching you go to the bathroom, watching you do your deed when you masturbate. They're always with you. They will never not be
Judgment.
around you. Huh?
They don't have any judgment though. It's not. They
No.
don't have the perception like we do.
Right.
They have
Right.
a
There
understanding.
is no judge. There is no judgment, guys. It is simply us experiencing ourselves outside of ourselves in the, like I said, the not, right? So you're welcome. So yeah, your angels and guides are with you constantly, just watching you, protecting you, and of course, what you just said, loving on you. So if you're feeling that emotion, right, which is love in going forward, then that's what you are feeling because you are loved more than, I mean, you can ever possibly know. There are no words in this archaic language that we have created to even describe the love of your father and your guides and everybody else, right? There's just simply no words. That it's impossible to have. All right. So you're welcome. Hey, Jason. What do we got? Oh, Jason, so much people. I'm telling you now, guys, I told you, I cry on a consistent basis, and I have no problems doing it. You guys see me when I'm feeling emotional or I'm talking about the thing, they come in and they keep me going and they give me all this love. And then I'm a blabbering, idiot, all the time. And I tell them, and thanks, pal, you made me uh, a big crybaby. Thank you. I love it. But I do, because this is who I am. I will not show you guys, right? Many of you guys like my channel because I don't hide anything from you, right? I don't sugarcoat it. I don't baby coat it. I don't put a diaper on you and paddle your butt, right? No, I give it to you straight, right? I don't bullshit it. I don't cover it up, and I don't sugarcoat it. This is it. This is what you guys need to do, right? And it's not easy to get to this higher stage, this higher vibration, right? Now, well, how do I get there? I've told you guys a million times, right? Even though I'm in alignment and it still hasn't come to fruition yet because I had that block, right? Well, now things are in motion. I may end up living in my car in 3 days. Am I going to hate it? No, I'll enjoy it. Why? It's what I chose to experience. Is it going to be uncomfortable? Yeah. Am I going to enjoy it? Not taking a shower and eating? Yeah. But, I'm not going to stop what I'm doing, right? Because I'm in alignment. I had the block, right? And many of you have blocks, right? You don't have that experience, right? And when I tell you guys well, how do I find myself? I told you guys, you got to have to go through meditation or, excuse me, through yoga, some sort of place where you can quiet your mind. We talked about this in the collaboration last week, right? If you go into meditation thinking I'm going to have some big ass grand experience and God's going to come talk to me and we're going to play chess, and don't go meditate, okay? Because it's not going to happen, right? I go into meditation because I want my mind. This is not your mind. It's the brain. It runs this thing, this meat suit, okay? Your mind is at home with Father, okay? Your mind is experiencing all of this. So in order to get that clatter to shut up, right, to stop the ego from having diarrhea of the mouth and singing a song and doing this, right, you've got to quiet your mind. So in order to do that, you've got to go within, right? So what do we got here? So I do transit. That's fine. Um, expectation equals bad. Correct. Go within, open the mind. Right. Don't have any expectations, right? You're doing it so you can find out who you are through the silence when there's nothing there. When I mean, there are times when I sit there for 20, 30 seconds, there's nothing there. You are in direct alignment with your old man. I know, pal. We got it. Right? You're directly connected to him. Okay? Without question. Then a song will come in, or, oh, I forgot that, just let him come, push him off. Like, don't pay any attention to it. If you got an itch, scratch it. Because if you don't, you're going to be sitting there and go, oh, that itches, right? And the mind, woo, right? So in order for you to go within, you need to meditate and just sit there and quiet. Start with 5 minutes. Meditate, right? I have affirmations. There are things that I do. So for me to meditate, it's a good 40 minutes, right? I practice my breathing for 10 or 15 minutes. I get in that zone. Then I'll start with, good morning, Father. I love you. And above anything, before you get into meditation or when you start it, be grateful, guys. Gratitude is the number one thing that will set you free, no matter what you are going through. Even though I'm going through this experience, I am grateful to have it, right? Whatever money you have, whatever food you have, vehicles, job, whatever it is, you be grateful for it. All right. Because when I see this, there are children walking the streets that are homeless, that are pooping in bags, that have nothing to eat. Be grateful for everything that you have. Okay. And you say, well, I don't. Quit comparing yourself to other people. You're not here for other people. You're here for yourself. Be grateful. Start your meditation that way. So before I get into my affirmations, I tell my Father how profoundly grateful I am for everything in my life. Right. And then I get into my affirmations and have affirmations. What are they? They're The I am statements. I am beautiful. I am strong. I am powerful. I am magnificent. I am the light of the world, right? I am healthy. I am this, right? You know, have those statements, but believe in them. Because if you're just saying them like, oh, hey, you know, it's windy out, it's not going to work, right? You have to believe in what you are saying. It's a lot of work, guys, right? And that's why my channel is specific to this. It's getting you guys to get into that, right? It's not about a fluffy NDE. There's more going on, right? That's why when I said I came back from I was pissed off. I was lied to, right? That sparred my YouTube channel. That sparred my, sparked my channel for people to come and talk to me one-on-one, right? This is for you guys to interact with me. That's a, I love doing this, right? But in order for that to take place, you have to quiet the mind, right? The mind is everything. Well, that's where the ego is, right? That's why Jesus said, right now, we're literally insane, right? Our minds split. You have the dark glass of the ego, and you have that of the Holy Spirit. Which do you choose? Do you choose the body and the ego, or do you choose the Holy Spirit and spirit, right? I choose spirit. I don't see a body anymore. I see a world of bodies, but I see you all as sinless. I see you all as beautiful and magnificent in who you are. That's how I see everybody. So, hi, Jason, Nicholas. Nicholas, good to see you. Much love. I have a question. How do you know if the choices you are making in life are in alignment with your highest path or not? You'll feel those in your emotions, buddy. You'll know that you're not feeling fulfilled, right? Like when you go into the job that I had for that 2.5 months, I don't want to say bad things about it, but I was like, why am I here? This is not doing anything. What am I? For some reason, I needed to be there, right? So you'll know when you're in life because you're unhappy, right? You're out of alignment with your guidance system. What is your guidance system? You're in alignment with love, right? The moment you're out of alignment with love, what is love? Well, when you're happy, you're making love, you're smiling, you're just in a you're with your friends and you're having a great time. But the moment you fall out of that, you're angry, you're upset, you're pissed off, you're angry, right? You're out of alignment. And if that's happening in your life with a job, with a relationship, with anything, that's your highest self saying you're out of alignment with what you came here to do. Now, if that's work, you have to find that desire. What is your desire? What is your passion? Right? Okay. And you have to follow through with that. Like, this is my desire. This is my passion. It is the only thing I think about. So denying all these other jobs is, may seem bizarre to the rest of the world, right? Well, you need money, man. How are you paying your bills? I don't care about my bills anymore. I don't care about any of this shit. Okay. I care about this. This is my passion. This is my desire. Okay. This is what I will do for the rest of my life until this body takes its last breath, right? This is what I came here to do. And yes, I had 4 angelic encounters, right? Guiding me, right? Is it kind of unfair? Well, I'm not better than you. I'm just above you, right? Vibration wise, this is what happens. Okay. So when that angelic encounter occurred on October 3rd of last year, Jason, and I was like, how do you know my name? Who are, and he says, you're in alignment. Okay. I've been manifesting this now since 2023, 2022, 23, somewhere there, right? Actually, since 2020, right? On a day-to-day basis. I didn't start meditating until probably 2023 when it kept coming up. And I'm like, all right, meaning these guys are saying, you need to meditate, right? And I cannot go without it. It is my peace. It is my sanctuary, right? But that's how I know. Anything else outside of what I am doing does not resonate with me. It makes me sick to my stomach. Okay. And that's how you know. So if somebody says, well, then I have to leave my marriage. Well, are you happy in your marriage? No. Well, then leave. Well, there's the church. Well, God is, no. God doesn't give a rat's ass about your marriage. Okay. Doesn't. As a matter of fact, I'm going to be blunt with you guys right now. With the war when World War III just took place, right? Because now more and more countries have gotten, France has gotten involved. World War III has begun, guys. And I told you what is going to happen with it. Okay. It's starting out a little slower than I thought, but it's creeping in. Right now, Great Britain is going to get involved. Okay. Pretty soon, Germany's going to get involved. Russia and China are now going to start backing Iran. Woo! I told you what's coming, guys. I hate being right. But God doesn't care about this, the war. God does not care, right? It's a fail-safe. We'll all go home. And I'm sorry to say, but Adolf Hitler, Jack the Ripper, Jeffrey Dahmer, Ed Gein, Elaine Warhouse, John Wayne Gacy, they're all home. They are all one with the Father too. They, in the moment of now, were trying to figure out who they were or who they are. We call it bad. We don't have the right to judge. What's bad is also good. God doesn't look at bad as anything other than what it is. All that he knows is not, right? So in order for us to know, because all we know is love, let me give you this example again, right? The little soul walks into this room. It's magnificent, right? The same kind of light that I saw. Beautiful white, right? The walls are white, ceiling's white, floor's white, right? Magnificent white. The little soul bursting in white, right? Walks into the room. How does he know he's white? He doesn't. He doesn't know what black is. Doesn't know what pink or purple is. How does he know he's white? He just knows all that is. I'm magnificent, grand. But that little soul also wants to experience all that it is not, right? What it's like to get beat up, what it's like to get raped, what it's like to be stabbed, what it's like to get in a car accident. Doesn't mean it's bad. It just doesn't know what it is, right? So, you know, this species has to live in a way by opposites, right? Bad doesn't necessarily mean bad. It just means in order for you to know bad, you have to know what good is, what joy, what evil is. Evil isn't bad. You just don't, you're labeling that experience as that. And where did you get that label from? From your values and morals. You learn those from somebody. You see how the wheel goes round and round backwards? You've been taught wrong. All of you. That's why I'm here. That's why my channel hasn't exploded into, 90,000 viewers, or subscribers. I teach the nitty gritty that you guys need to know. Dear Jason, everything is spiritual, and you seem to encounter the worst suffering. Is it worth it to accept the suffering? Recap, or is it? Remember, I chose this. My higher self wanted to experience this, right? Nobody said coming to the hardest place in the entire universe is going to be easy. Have I had a very difficult life? Beyond measure, right? Do I want to live in my car? Not really. I really don't. It's just, I don't understand it. But I accept it because I chose it. God has nothing to do with this. So I have to own it. And I did. Now, do I really in my mind think that it's going to happen? No. But how do we grow how do we evolve as souls? Right? As you just said, through suffering, through pain, right? If you're just walking on a beach or you're making love all day, right? Are you going to learn? Well, we might as well just stay home, even though we can't have sex at home, right? We might as well stay at home, right? We only encounter growth through pain, through what you call suffering, through hard times. Now, it's your choice to live in it, right? To experience it and keep re-experiencing it and making it grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, right? I know that if that happens on Monday and that's what I have to do, then I'll love it. I'll be okay with it. but I know that it's not going to happen. If I didn't have that quantum leap and that thing happened to me, then I know for sure that I would, right? Like for the first 3 weeks after, losing my job, I applied to 12 jobs a day. You know what I got from each and every one of them? Nothing. Why? I'm not meant to be there, right? That's not what I came here to do. So we only grow, we only evolve through difficult times, what we call pain, what we call suffering, right? We all love the good stuff. Do you grow in it? No. Love is love, right? There's no higher or lower forms of love. Love is everything. Love is our natural state of being. That's why what do we all seek? We all seek the perfect relationship. We seek the perfect woman or man, right? What are we trying to get out of it? Right? Peace. That's why, and I'm going to be blunt with this, guys. It's always a choice, right? And those choices are your consequences, right? You have to own them. I own them, right? There's no way. But for us to experience things, the difficulty, that's where we grow from. When you walk through fire, you like, damn, that hurt. Right? You learn something valuable. Then you take that into your experience level, and we know what to do and what not to do. So to grow through, love, that's our natural state. We leave our home, we leave that unconditional love to experience all that it is not, in order to know thyself, who we truly are, right? Let's see. Your channel doesn't need to explode. All it takes is for you to say one word or phrase to plant a seed within someone that helps them grow somewhere. Exactly. And that's why I love my channel. I don't care if I was subscribed to one person or 100 million. It doesn't matter. If I know, and I've had several people come to me and say, Jason, this video came on in the middle of the night. I was going to kill myself. And your video showed up and I watched it and you saved my life. And I'm reading this and I'm sobbing uncontrollably, right? This is a couple of years ago and I've never forgotten it. And and it was a she, and she said I was going to end my life. And your video was right there and I clicked on it. And you have literally saved my life. I just sat there and cried, right? Because that's what I started this channel for. I love each and all of you the same way, right? I want you to get this. I want you to understand this. I say harsh things because you need to hear these harsh things, right? You need to hear the truth. I'm not here to, pamper your butts and give you a little pat on the back. Sometimes I'm going to slap you around, okay? But that's because I love you. And I want you to, when we get done with this, go, wow, if he's going through this, what I'm going through means nothing, right? I watched a video last night of a woman who had 5 brain surgeries. And in the middle of her 3rd and 4th brain surgery, her father died. She lost the ability to hear. And she was a young woman, right? And her tenacity and her sitting there saying, I can sit here in this and become worthless, or I can do something about it. And I was like, wow. Right? Because I was starting to feel like, wow, this, is this really worth it? And here she is showing me up 5 brain surgeries, gone deaf. And here I am worrying about living in a car with no money, lost everything she did. And she said, nah, no. And she got up and she began to speak. She started her channel and she began to do things, become an influencer. I wish I could have given her the biggest hug in the world because, and I wrote a long paragraph and basically what it was beyond, thank you. I needed this. You taught me something. Thank you. Right? Be grateful for what you have, guys. All right. And some of you have had these experiences like Gina and are finding their way in the moment of now, right? Saying, what I'm experiencing is not what I want, right? It's not for my higher self. This is not who I am. And that's why I've begun this channel, right? To become a teacher, to be on the stage, to be traveling the world, to speak to people that can't really hear me, right? That may not have technology, but can come and listen to me speak, right? That is my goal. That is my dream. That is my life. So when I sit here and I like, why am I stuck in this hotel room? Why am I here? Right? I put myself here. It's for a reason. There's a grander reason behind everything, guys. But if you want to sit in your pain, right? If you want to sit in your misery, remember what fear does. Fear attracts, what you fear the most is what you're going to attract. For my whole life, I was unworthy of having money, feeling like I'm going to be kicked out, and I've lived it. That's all I've experienced because that's my fear. I no longer fear that anymore, right? Is it something I want to experience? No, but I've grown from it, right? That's what a true master knows. It puts that feeling aside saying, it is what it is. I'm not going to give it the power to control me, right? So I don't give it the power to control me. And I won't, because I know I will be taken care of. I know that everything is going to be all right. And that is, enlightenment. And when you reach enlightenment, as I told you before, that ends your incarnations. You don't have anything to experience or grow from anymore, right? You've learned the game. You've mastered the game, right? Now, I was frustrated, like when I was living in my car before all of this in Lodi for 2 months. I flipped out on Father, told him, you can all go to hell. This really isn't fun. This is not what I came here for. I was established. How can I, this is not cool, guys. Well, as he politely said, you put yourself here. You did this. Well, this is what I came to experience. I didn't say it was going to be easy. Again, we don't grow through being at ease with people, right? In relationships, if you're truly in a relationship, man and woman, and it doesn't matter if it's same sex, guys. I've told you this before. God doesn't give a rat's ass. Okay. So if we're in a relationship, you grow through your entanglements, right? When you have a confrontation, you want to talk, somebody's upset, this, right? You grow from that. Now, if you have knowledge and wisdom, you don't yell at her and call her nasty names or physically abuse her, right? Or her, you, right? You sit there and you have a conversation. And the more uncomfortable it is, the better it is, because that's how you grow, right? And you can say, you know what? You're right. I was wrong. I apologize. You're right. I see your point of view. I'm truly sorry. That won't happen again. That's how you grow, guys, right? And sometimes, as I like to tease, sometimes you just want to become deaf. What'd you say? Huh? I didn't hear, right? You just, to get through, that's a joke, but you, you grow through adversity. You grow through strife. So, welcome it, as uncomfortable as it is. Understand, why am I here? What do I need to learn? Step outside of the situation, right? Because like I said, God is experiencing life through you. Everything you experience, he experiences. And it's not a he, right? Remember, you're threefold body, right? Father, Son, Holy Spirit. God, Son, Holy Spirit, Mom, right? And if any of you have seen the movie The Shack, right, you see the Holy Spirit as the Asian girl, right? You have Father, Mac, who is the Son, and then Jesus was there, but you have Holy Spirit, which was the Asian girl, right? And all are representations of the one mind, all that is, experiencing all that is not. So what you resist will always persist in your life, guys, right? So what you fear will always keep being attracted to you. You can have these experiences, right? And they're profound, but you got to act on them, right? And sometimes it's frustrating because I don't get directions, man, right? It's like I'm wandering around in the dark. Where do I need to go? What do I need to do? What more do I need to do, right? Then, I get the angel encounters. Hey, but still, well, who do I need? Who needs me? How do I need to know that I needed to fly to Austin, Texas, because this young black woman in Austin, Texas needed me? I thought it was here, a job. I had to go to Texas. There's no directions with this, guys. This is your doing. All of it is. All of it is. Jason, after you became enlightened, what happened after? Do you stay in heaven? Now, when you become enlightened, that's a great question. When Jesus became enlightened, when he was baptized by John in the Jordan, right? And he kind of made a big stink about it. He was talking to the old man. Well, why? Why do I need to be, what for? It's, and what Father wants, we do. So he went and got baptized. But when he was plunged under the water from John, he was jacked with a massive amount of energy. Okay. Now, Jesus, again, I'm telling you, Jesus was no different than any of us. Anything, all the things I'm doing, you can do and more, he said, right? No different. He was just further along the path. He got it. He understood it. He knew how to manipulate energy. So all this energy hit him, right? So he was, he came up like this, like when you have and he was twitching, right? So he wandered off into shore and sat in between the trees and the reeds, right? That was his enlightenment. He became enlightened in that moment, right? You know this in the passage of the Bible where he wandered the desert for, 3 weeks, tempted by the devil. He wasn't tempted by anything. He was doing battle, but it wasn't with the devil, right? What was he going after, right? While he was sitting there, he was battling the ego, right? He was telling the ego, you ain't got nothing over me anymore, pal. But even then, for 2 years, he still fought with the ego. That's how powerful your ego is. Okay. So when he reached enlightenment, right, he knew that he no longer desired to be in a body, or, right, his contract was with the old man was done, right? Done, kaput. So when you become enlightened, and again, enlightenment is knowing that who you are, that what you're experiencing is nothing. And I wrote it down. No, I didn't. It's knowing that, the experience that I had, there's nowhere to go. You know who you are, right? You're on a journey to nowhere. That's enlightenment, guys. Okay. Jesus knew that. Okay. So he chose, after his contract ended, to not incarnate anymore, right? He probably went back to being a highly advanced being. He didn't come here for experiences anymore, right? So in my enlightenment, right, now this is my choice. I've completed the contract. I'm done. Now, life is ongoing. It never stops, okay? It's my choice now whether I want to keep incarnating, okay? Now, that would be like Jesus, when he didn't, and when I did my video on Mary Magdalene, guys, okay, when each time, and I can guarantee you, even a couple people here now listening incarnated with the being as Mary Magdalene. But she wasn't Mary Magdalene. She was John Schmo from somewhere else, but still in one of her lives, Mary Magdalene, right? So he waited for Mary Magdalene to become enlightened. And she had many, many, many more lives. And each time she had a life, he was there waiting for her when she came home. They still love each other immensely. They just can't have a physical life anymore. They choose not to incarnate again, right? That's enlightenment. That's the end of the contract. That's the end of the road. Now, I could say 10,000 years later, right? 20,000 years, say, you know what? Sitting around a campfire with some of the folks, you know what? I'm going to go incarnate again. See ya, right? Then I get with my guides, get with my archangel, get with my overlord, right? And what? Create a life, right? Come to the old man with, hey, this is what I want to experience. He's going to look at it. All right, go, and off you go. That's it. That's all that it is. But your life is detailed, right? It's not just some wham, bam, thank you, ma'am kind of thing. Okay. You are in it. You are creating it. Everything that you feel and experience is exactly what you asked God to experience. And that is what you are experiencing. And therefore, that is what God is experiencing, right? That is who God is. God will never take on a form. He will never show up in some sort of form because, oh, Jason said, well, he looked like an old man wearing a robe. And the whole world will identify that as God. God has no form. We have no form. God is simply love and light. And that is it. Love that you are all unprepared for. And I mean unprepared for. You are not even imagining what this kind of love is. It has profoundly changed my life in every way. And what I mean, I love each and every one of you no differently than I love both of my girls. You are exactly the same. There is no difference, right? That is unconditional love. And that is how I choose to teach. That is how I choose to guide each and every one of you through my channel, right? That's why I started the collaboration. Vanessa desperately wanted to work with me, right? And her and I have almost everything in common, right? And that is my way of showing you guys even more love for, another point of view to come in, right? To experience, the yin and the yang, right? So just know that when you are in alignment with your Father, you are in alignment with love, your guidance system. You are feeling joy, happiness, you're emotional, you're emoting, right? As Vanessa would say, your love is flowing, right? You want to make love, you want to be that love. That's what your soul is seeking, right? And when it seeks it and finds it, it knows it because it knows who it is, right? You know who you are, you've just forgotten. That's the whole point of coming here, is to rediscover who you are. There's nothing grand in this realm of the relative. It's, if you guys play video games, it's like going to the test server, right? You can't F up in the test server, can you? You always go back to real server and play your game, right? This is the test server. There's nothing real here. And your soul knows it. So your soul knows that it's never in danger, ever. It's seeking what it always has been meant to be, love, right? It seeks love through whoever or whatever. It doesn't recognize bodies. You've all grown up with, I love that Jason is doing the collaboration. I love it too. Talking heads, we're on a road to nowhere, right? You're on a journey that goes nowhere, guys. It's like you waking up in a dream, right? You're in bed and you wake up screaming, ah! You're all full of sweat and you go, oh, 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 shit. I'm safe, right? Nothing happened, right? You haven't woken up from the dream yet. That's called death, right? And then in that moment of now, you fully realize who you are, right? You're standing before your Father and you're watching a life review. And he's going to say, okay, pal, let's see what you did, right? Only in death do you realize who you are. I figured that out. I've had my near-death experience, right? I know exactly who I am. And I am creating right now, because out of desire and passion, my business, this teaching career that I'm desperately desiring in the worst way to come to fruition. And I will not stop that. I will not hinder it. For me to do that is telling each and every one of you, F off. I cannot do that. I will not ever do that, right? My love for you is that great. You don't understand the love that I have for all of you. It is beyond what I can possibly describe to you, So we're at an hour. What have you got to say, Gina? You've listened to me ramble. What have you got to say?
Just let you talk. I didn't want to interrupt. And I love hearing you talk. I love your points. Like you said, you're very straight to the point. You have great insights. I love hearing it. But I wanted to introduce myself. I think it's so funny. You called me Gina this whole time. My name is Gianna, but
Gianna, okay.
I like Gina better.
I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding.
I'm so sorry, Gianna.
No, it's okay. No, yes, I'm Gianna, and I am also looking to start getting into YouTube and start teaching as well. I've had a lot of experiences, and I've not only just learned from like YouTube and stuff. I've done a lot of like inner meditation, like you were talking about, meditating, the importance of it. It's so important, and I do a lot of connection to the divine through music. I play a lot of instruments. I have my Native American flute right here, and I have a lot of other instruments that when I play it, it puts me in a state, a very high state where I connect with the divine, even like a flow state, you know?
Right.
Yes. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I just wanted to also, Earth is like Harvard, you know? Earth is is the hardest place to incarnate. And all souls here are very brave. And I just think that, you know, do it now, do it in this life, you know? Why wait till the next life to start meditating? You know, like we're here now, so let's do other work, the inner work. And like, there's so much, you know, and love is really that way to do it, you know? It's by going inward and you know, in every moment, there's a choice between fear, ego, or choosing the higher mind, you know, and choosing to just love yourself and that you know that you are more than the physical body, you know? And yeah, I have a lot of respect for what you do and I thank you, you know, because this is real, you know, like right, especially in this time, like we need people who want the best for us, that want to see us. Hi.
What's going on, Asian? It's good to see you.
Yeah. They want to see us thrive. We want it's like I love working with Mother Nature. I love learning from her. And one of the things that I find beautiful about nature is that the trees connect at the bottom, their roots, and they work as one ecosystem, sharing resources, warning each other, and if one is needing, you know, if one's dying, they share their resources and they work together as one. And that's just so beautiful. And I think that we need that right now, you know, in the world. There's so much separation and you know, one person like you did this to me and you did that to me and it's like it's not about that. It's really not. It's about love. It's about unconditional love and growing because it's a school. We're in school right now. And school does not someone asked what happens after school doesn't end after like we're still always growing, you know, even in the other side we look at our review of our life and we're like, okay, what could we have done better? What, you know, what do we do in the next life? Or what can we do to, you know, change this up? And, you know, people are like, why do we suffer? And I love the quote of like, you have to ride, you can watch someone ride a bike, but until you ride that bike, you don't know, you know, the experience of it. And experiencing is such a beautiful thing. Like, being grateful for the experience too because we get to wake up every day and like just live and like it's so beautiful. Our ancestors, you know, they woke up every day and they like worshiped the sun and they hunted and they, you know, were around the campfire and they loved life, you know, they didn't have screens or you know 9 to 5 jobs. Our bodies are not meant to you know be so stressed and overworked and you know mundane. We're meant to be in nature. We're meant to really reconnect with that part of ourself, that indigenous part of ourself. And that's what I want to do with my work, is teach people how to reconnect with nature and you know get outside and like it really opens up your whole world when you realize how much like we are nature. We are, and she wants to help, you know, she can help. And Mother Nature she's a beautiful, she's our mother, and she heals and she nurtures and she gives us all that we have. And being grateful for her is very important.
I'm so close. It was so beautiful. There you go, man.
So beautiful, yeah.
There you go.
That's also what meditating can do, you know, you can leave this, you know, in a way, you know, put your awareness somewhere where in your heart center, in your happy place, in the cosmos, you know, meditating, you go into yourself in that portal in your heart and you connect with the soul, you know, the expansiveness of that.
Nicholas, thank you for teaching as always.
Of course, Nicholas.
Absolutely. Much love to you, my brother. Yeah, so we come here to experience, right? I mean, you have to remember who you are. What do you need to know or learn? Nothing. What you came here to do is experience everything that is not, right? So it's just a game, guys. It's a game of, hide and seek, and you're hiding from yourself, so you're seeking to find yourself, right? And that's the whole point of everything. And Gianna's right. We belong in nature. If Father could say one thing, he'd be get out of your little rectangular
Boxes.
squares, get out of your boxes, and go into nature. That's one of the things Jesus would say, right? Is to go be in nature. Just go sit again, hug a tree. When I'm out and I walk on a trail, how many trees I hug? Now I should take my shoes and socks off, because that's how you can ground. The tree will take your negative energy out. But sit there and hug a tree, give it a kiss, say thank you for what you do, right? Because there's a being inside there as well, right? It's alive. There's a being inside there. So get out in nature, guys. Get out and get lost, right? Quit worrying about what everybody else thinks. You came here to worry about you and you alone. And I will keep reiterating this until you get it. Okay. You came here to work on you, nobody else. Okay. Not your wife, kids, parents, grandparents, whatever. You. It means you need to become self-centered, not egotistical, not maniacal, not, a degenerate, but you need to work on you. And the best place to do that is to go for a walk, go for a hike in nature, right? Just be there and enjoy the moment, right? Because when you're out in nature, are you thinking about your car payment? Are you thinking about your house? Are you thinking about your kid? No, you're lost in the beauty, right? Steal away, go camping, right? Go sit by a campfire and just enjoy the crackling of the fire, hearing the wind go through the trees, right? Hearing a coyote, howl or whatever, right? I mean, when I was on that journey traveling to California, I did the bypass and I stayed in Arizona, saying, no, I'm staying here, guys. All of you can, California can go F off. Well, that didn't work out. But I walked up in the mountains. I took a 2-hour hike. I mean, I was thousands of feet in the air. And I was like, my God, this is beautiful. I was in heaven, right? I was like, this is it. This is it, right? I was at peace, right? It was beautiful. So she's absolutely right. We need to be out in nature, not sitting around in these concrete jungles that we call somehow life, because it's not, right? It's a living hell, and it breeds nothing but pain, misery, and death, right? So, yep, it's about connecting with Mother Gaia, right? And, what are we doing to Mother Gaia right now? We are, just destroying everything we have that is required to live. Our ozone layer is depleting. We've polluted every single waterway, right, is non-drinkable. Oceans we can't drink, but any river and lake, you can't go in there and take a cup of water and drink it. You'd get sick, right? I mean, look what we've done to it. We've cut down the Amazon, our major source of oxygen, right? And if we even stopped and planted everything back, it would take 4,000 years for it to fully come back. Now, we could do it instantly if we all came together as one consciousness, but, we refuse to do that because I'm not you, you're not me, I hate you, you drive like an idiot, you're ugly. We need to come together as one, guys. One, and we can fix it. I mean, we could fix it now, right? There'd be no more war. I told you last week that 30,000 people a day die of hunger. 67% of them are children under 5 years old. Do you understand that? Okay. 200,000 people die a day. They go home, game's over. But out of that, 30,000 die from starvation. Starvation. 67% of that 30,000 are children 5 and under. You want to tell me why? Because we don't give a shit. We don't love each other. We hate each other, right? We want to see you all. Well, that person in Illinois isn't my problem. Well, that person in Illinois is your problem because that is you. Okay. That person in Africa that's holding her dying child with flies buzzing all over, seconds from death, that is you. We should not be allowing this to happen. This is the whole point of teachers coming together and teaching, right? I mean, I know I'm going to be spit on. I know I'm going to be told I'm a blasphemer. I'm going to be told that I'm a worthless SOB and that I'm lost. And, I may even be killed for what I'm teaching, right? But I don't care. I won't stop. This needs to come out. Okay. We have and can fix everything here on earth, right here, right now. The earth can look just like it did in the dinosaurs. We can have drinkable lakes, drinkable streams, right? We can have forests blanketing the entire earth again, right? We could have beautiful air to breathe, but we choose to identify with the self. I am this, I am that, right? We have that. How do you think God creates in heaven? Who do you think he comes to? He comes to say, hey guys, I need this. And what do? As a collective consciousness at home, we create what he wants. You all misunderstand how powerful you are. You're not the body. You've never been the body. That's why I tell you the body is meaningless. It is of absolute littleness in the grand scheme of everything. If there's 8 billion, say if 4 billion people came together and had one conscious thought together, repopulate or reforest the earth would be reforested. Or they say all the waterways are pristine and clean. If we all came together under that one consciousness, one thought, and held it, everything would be fixed. Okay, we can fix all of this, guys. We have to do it. God's not going to come down here and do this. He'll watch us completely collapse, right? He'll watch this species go extinct. That's what we choose. Is that what you want? We can fix this. Jason, I have a good one. The war will not happen. We stopped it. Things are taking. I hope so. Profit over people. That's it. Right? Greed. Right? How about if we did this? Every nation on earth took their military funding with the United States. That would be 300 and some odd trillion dollars. You take England, France, Germany, all of them. You pull it together, right? We're talking quintillions of dollars. Now you give everybody a home, food, and a way to support themselves. I guarantee you, nobody on this planet would be homeless or hungry or without clothing, right? That's all we got to do. Well, Jason, that's because nobody loves one another, right? That will never happen because the have-nots don't want to let go and but you're only as strong as your weakest link, guys. Right now, if you look at the battleship chain, the first link, the only link made of beautiful hardened steel is steel. The rest of it is rock candy. What do you think is going to happen when they let go of that anchor? It's all going to shatter. That boat's going to drift aimlessly and wander all over the place, right? They don't understand the have-nots that when we all become empowered, when we all have that, there's no stopping it, right? They become stronger. But as they said, profit over people, greed. Therefore, the planet will continue to suffer and spiral into a place that it shouldn't go. Jason, to love one another first, they have to love themselves. And that's right. That was my first major accomplishment when I was shaking my hand at God, right? 2 months after my NDE, said, you picked the wrong person, pal. Should have picked the Pope, blah, 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 all that, right? Giving him the business, right? And that's when he spoke to me when he said, why not? You are my son, right? That's when I collapsed at the end of my bed. And I still to this day don't know why I said this or where it came from. When I said, for all that I am you, right? Acknowledging that I am God. And that was the beginning of me forgiving myself and began to truly love who I am, right? But you're right. you have to love yourself before that love can be projected out onto others. If you don't love yourself, you can't love your children, you can't love your spouse, you can't love your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever. It all begins with you. That's what Jesus was teaching you guys. Look, listen, anything I can do, you can do. It has to come from within, right? Where's the kingdom of heaven? He said it's here and now, right? He was showing you the kingdom of heaven. You are heaven, right? It all began with the individual, even though you're not an individual, but it's all got to come from within. You are the kingdom of heaven. You are God, imbued with his same love, creative abilities, and knowing. Wake up, guys. Wake up and realize who you are in the moment of now. Create the best version of yourself in the now. But before that, you got to love yourself, okay, unconditionally, because one, you have done no wrong, none, in any way, shape, or form. Okay. Two, love yourself and forgive yourself. Period. End of subject. There is nothing else. You have to start with those two: loving yourself and then forgiving yourself for thinking that you were unworthy, unwanted, and that you have done something so horrific that God banished you here and you are going to be, sent to a place that doesn't exist. Okay? That's where it begins. That's where your journey begins. It's an inward journey, and it will always remain inward. And I've told you this, guys, before. Seek nothing outside yourself. For if you seek anything outside yourself, you will find pain, misery, and you will surely find death. Okay? And that is a fact, right? So.
And another thing I want to add is that a lot of us are saying that we're only one person. What can we do? What can I do? There's nothing we can do. I'm only one person. But if we all came together and said that we are all one, and we are the people, we can start taking back that power of that imbalance and power between the government and the people, and realizing, we need to start building communities, focusing on agriculture and the respect to the earth. I feel like there's so many people who don't realize where they get their meat from. It's tortured and processed animals, and it's disrespectful. And we need to respect one another and the world that we come from. Yeah, and I love your views, Jason. They're really touching. They're very touching. But yeah, the respect, we've lost respect. There was our ancestors, they would hunt the animal, but they would use every part of the animal with respect and love, and they would have ceremony. And now it's just, you just kill and kill and kill and eat and get out, and there's a lot of things in our food that are not good. There's a lot of chemicals and you're eating that energy of that animal. Those tortured animals, everything is energy. So when you eat an animal that's been tortured and processed, you're eating that energy of it. And there's so much pain and like separation, and that's why it's so important for each one of us, and the work that you do, Jason, because you're awakening people, you're helping people see the truth, the light, and helping people see that, like, we have the power. We are powerful, and we create our reality. We have free will. Humans have created this. We created this, not God. Well, God, in a sense, but like what we see with all the pain and the suffering. We chose this because we have that free will, and created government. We created, boxes, 9-to-5 jobs. We had all of this nature and paradise, because that's the natural, that's nature. That's the way the cycle goes, and we are part of nature. But it's a respect, to that animal giving its life for us so we can live.
Why do animals attack and eat each other? They're brutal. That's because we do the same thing, right? When we go hunting, deer hunting season, what do? We go hunt and kill the deer. Right now, and as an animal, as a lion or a tiger, right? It doesn't have hands, right? It can't shoot a gun. It can't, kill it humanely. And that's, as Gianna just said, it's part of the cycle of life. It's remember, we are a primitive species, guys. Okay, primitive, right? We're toddlers. Like when you see two toddlers playing together and one has a toy, the other one comes and grabs it. The one screams, right, and then he comes over there and cracks the other one on the head and takes the toy back. That's how we behave. That's what our society and what we built. And until we evolve, and we are evolving, that's what you're going to see in societies where animals attack. A lion can't, shoot something and then butcher it and then do it. It's got to eat it alive. And is it horrific? Yeah, it's gross. You ever see a lion attack a buffalo or hyenas? They disembowel it and eat it alive. I mean, again, it's a primitive species that we're in, right? This collective, as it is rising vibrationally, not in consciousness. Consciousness cannot, raise or lower itself, because you're talking about God. God is. That's the consciousness, okay? God cannot raise or lower his consciousness. God is. But what we can do on that level of consciousness is what? Evolve and grow vibrational, right? Increase your vibration, right? You can lower it or raise it. So that's where you're getting the upper and lower. So, and until we can do that, and Gaia is evolving, right? She's shedding her skin, right? There's going to be another Earth. Remember, I told you guys the path that we're going down right now with World War III taking place? And what is going to come now is what you're going to see in massive quantities during 2026 is blackouts, where the system shuts down. The system is disintegrating, guys. Okay, so you're going to see blackouts, no power, no cell phones, no TV, no lights. Okay, no. So if you don't have canned goods, you better start buying some, because it's going to start happening pretty soon in longer frequencies, right? The vibrational split has happened already. Those that have ascended and have awoken are the 40%, right? They are going to start moving into, and we are already, into the golden age of Earth. The 60% that are living in fear, right? The warmongers that are attacking Iran right now, right? The wars that are taking place, people that are, oh, good for that, they're living in fear. Fear is a low vibrational state. They're going to stay in this old Earth that's taking place right now. Okay. So as we evolve and raise our frequency, our vibration in that consciousness, right? Because when you get to the top, you, like I do, realize who you are. I'm God. I've experienced it, right? I know I experienced it. Okay. So these blackouts are coming. So what I would encourage each and every one of you to do is start getting some canned food. Peaches, pineapple, canned food like I eat now here, Dinty Moore beef stew, something that you can open the can and eat, because there will be no power. There will be no stove. There will be no electricity. All screens will be shut down. The earthquakes and tsunamis and all of this are going to start taking place. The machine is being dismantled, guys. Okay. We're there. So I would highly encourage you guys to start getting some canned food. So even though I'm down to, like, what did I say, 60 cents in my account, 50 cents in my account, when I get food or when I get money again, I'm going to go buy fruit, peaches, pineapple, more canned food, like canned tuna. That way you still get some protein, right? Or Dinty Moore beef stew or whatever it is, because you're not going to have the ability to eat for 2 weeks. You don't eat for 2 weeks, you die. That may be a natural course of things. That's the way you chose to go. So be it. But you're going to start to see the ball rolling quicker and quicker, guys. Okay. So, but, Gianna's right. We need to start, if we're going to kill an animal, first of all, the way we treat our cattle in this country and the way we treat everything is horrific. Okay. Horrific the way they are treated. They need to be treated, oh my gosh, treated with much more love and respect. They need to be out in massive fields, not tied into a dairy farm where their tits are sucked on all day so you can get your stupid milk, right? No, there's got to be better ways that we can organize things for these animals to, survive and thrive and not just be degraded to the point of, what's taking place. It's horrific, right? And if we are going to eat them because we're a primitive species, they need to be put down humanely, right? Very humanely. Um, I'm a meat eater, and I despise the way I have to eat meat, knowing where it came from and how it was done. Okay. Um, we need more love in the world, ladies and gentlemen, right? Love is the only thing that matters. And when we start loving ourselves, we start projecting that outwards towards our environment, right? Towards the animals, towards other things, right? So
It all comes back to that, because like if we
love
all
is everything.
that we're all one and we're love, then we wouldn't treat people and animals like how we are. You know?
Oh, hello. What is it? Ronald, hello. Jason, that's not true, Jason. I have fasted for, well, you can fast. I mean, let's put it right. Right. I fasted for 3 days, dry fast. So technically our bodies, we don't need the amount of food that we eat. That is absolutely true. So, but most people are not attuned to that, agent. Okay. They're not there yet. So for most people, they think they need to thrive on, but that's why you see the concentration camp victims. They weren't given food and water. I mean, they still survived for a month or so. So it's true. You're right. It is absolutely true. I mean, you can go very, like today. I mean, I had some yogurt, some strawberries, and blueberries. That's all I ate today. Very little, right? And when I was living in my car, I was eating a can of green beans a day, 60 calories, but I was drinking like, 5 or 6 bottles of water. So yeah, we don't need the amount of food that, um, you know, the society says we need to do. We need far less, right? And it's mind over the ego. The ego saying, "You're starving me to death. I'm hungry." That's the ego, right? You quit listening to the ego, and that dependency falls down. I went 3 days without drinking water. I learned to put my tongue at the top of my mouth, just behind my teeth. And when you don't breathe through your mouth, you're salivating like you would not believe. Swallow your own spit. There you go. Now you don't have a dry mouth, and you're actually ingesting fluids. So the ego is your body. Yep. This is the house of the ego, right? What does the ego seek? Pleasure. And it wants you dead, right? The ego is a false belief in who you are, right? You believe you're a male and a female. You have those hormones telling you, I'm a female, I'm a male, right? No, you got to quit buying into that, right? I know I'm not a man. I was looking at this thing laying down on the bed, and I was still who I thought I was. So the ego is, the body. Absolutely. Glad I caught you all. Picked up my stepfather from the airport around 8:20. Ronald, it is so good to see you, brother. It is so good to see you. I remember you and I having our first rounds of talks a few years ago. I'm glad that I was able to help you out, man. Truly, truly blessed, right? So Ronald was in a bad spot a few years ago, bad spot. And I worked with him through several sessions, and he's doing fantastic. And I'm thrilled. I mean, that's what it's all about, showing the love. So somebody's phone is going off.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I love you too, buddy. So don't forget tomorrow night, guys. I want to leave. It's almost an hour and 40 minutes. That tomorrow we have the collaboration. Same time, same bat place. Please come. I don't know what we're going to talk about. We'll probably hit that up tomorrow sometime beforehand. We'll talk and jive on what we want to talk about. But all of you guys, bring your questions, right? Because that's what this is about, right? It's about you asking questions, the unknown, or agreeing or whatnot, right? But it's about you awakening. So again, you're going to see rolling blackouts where everything's disintegrating coming soon, right? And that means, so go get some canned food, right? I would highly encourage, healthy stuff, peaches, um, whatever, bananas, whatever, stuff that, you can eat, and have a little bit of substance. You're going to see the earthquakes, the tsunamis, the tornadoes. You're going to see a pickup in natural disasters taking place, massive ones. So that's also going to be taking place. You're seeing the crumbling. You're seeing the top of the buildings coming down, right? The system is failing because it's meant to, right? We're meant to move into the golden age for us, and that's what you're seeing. Have backup pet food. Yeah. I mean, I don't have any pets. So for me, the way I learned to break through, I stopped. Yeah, there you go. Yep. I don't, if you, what happens when you don't feed something? When you don't feed your ego, it dies, right? And when you become enlightened and you go through your awakening and stuff, that's what it is. It's the ego death. You quit feeding the ego. I don't equate myself with being a man, right? I know what I am, right? So when you don't feed something, you kill it. And that is what, the ego death is, or the awakening to who you are. And that's part of what, he's saying there. You don't feed it, it dies. So, I don't label things anymore, good, bad, right or wrong. You're a male, I'm a female, this, that, or the other, right? It's just the complete and total disintegration of the false belief in your identity, which that is the ego. So, yep. Title nothing, but love everything, right? Even the situation you're going through. So, as difficult as this situation is, I'm glad I'm able to experience it, right? Because now I can say that, other than that, I wouldn't know. Somebody said, well, I went through this. It'd be like, how would I know how to even respond to that? Because I haven't experienced it, right? So we'll wrap it up here tonight, guys. Gianna, thank you for coming in. Sorry I pronounced your name the wrong way.
No, it's okay. Don't worry.
I'm not going to be able to sleep tonight, Father.
No, you're good. You're good. I don't worry.
And I appreciate your love and support. I do. I'm truly grateful that you found me and that I've been able to, touch base with you.
Yeah, I wanted to let you talk. I didn't want to interrupt too much.
No. Please interrupt. Say, hey, can I say something? Because
I
sometimes I get in a teaching mode and then I'm just, lights out.
You're good at what you do.
Work on yoga, karma, guys. Stay on don't do things for karma. I forgive you, child. All right, I forgive all of you, and I love all of you. Remember, tomorrow night collaboration, same time, same bat place. I love you all. Enjoy your beautiful Friday, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, guys. Gianna, you can stay in there.